All right, welcome to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It's your host with the most. Let's get right into it. Why isn't Jamaican dancehall bigger in the US? First of all, them said Jamaican dancehall. There's only one dancehall I know, and it's Jamaican music dancehall. But I guess there are so many spin-offs out there. Everyone is coming out with their own version of dancehall music, and I don't know if y'all notice it, but them kind of take what they think from we. But anyway, why isn't Jamaican dancehall bigger in the US? When acts like Hood Celebrity break through here in the US, they're overcoming a major obstacle to their success. Because it's kind of hard for the dancehall to break out in the US. Now, in the first week of May, this is 2018, the American industry commenced a semi-annual tradition, singling out a lone piece of Jamaican music and sending it up the charts. 2018's lucky winner was Walking Trophy, a confidence-boosting single by Hood Celebrity, a Jamaican-born New York City-based singer. By early July of 2018, 2 months after appearing on the mainstream R&B/hip-hop airplay chart, Walking Trophy was reaching an audience of around 8 million listeners per week. It got huge. But we're asking ourselves, why are they singling out like one piece of music, you know? Okay, there's one Jamaican record every 2 to 3 years, explained the producer Jax. The last big record was Conscience, Broke Off Your Back. That was 2017. Before that, it was Cranium, Nobody Has to Know. That was 2015. Before that, it was Egyptian, Whole You. That was 2010. And before that, it was Serrani, No Games. That was 2009. Singles like these often become popular when the weather begins to get warm in the northeast US, but then the fall approaches, American gatekeepers promptly abandon Jamaican music for some reason. We've always been trying to figure that out. Why are we only subjected to the summertime? Asks Ricky Blaze, an artist-producer who crafted the beat for Egyptian's Hold You. We make cool music all year long. Maybe conditions are finally in place for Jamaican artists to break the de facto seasonal embargo. Streaming has helped multiple global genres of music archive prominence. Thanks to huge YouTube numbers and beefed up Spotify playlists, more Spanish language songs than ever before are reaching the Hot 100 charts, and within the last year and a half, K-pop has also started to cross into the US market. Jamaican music has been more historically influential than either reggaeton or K-pop. Could it be the next genre to break globally? Even the most casual American listeners know the reggae template. Dancehall is effectively a sleeker, rowdier descendant with electronic programming in place of reggae's live instrumentation and a more declarative vocal style relative to reggae's laid-back melodic singing. Together, the two forms have shaped wide swathes of modern pop, starting with hip-hop. Reggae helped popularize toasting over a rhythm heavily backing track, but extended far beyond. Several of the biggest top 40 hits of the last 5 years have a Jamaican foundation, including Justin Bieber's Sorry, Sia's Cheap Thrills, and Ed Sheeran's Shape of You. Dancehall is son of reggae, but the father of several genres of music, says Sean Paul, likely dancehall's biggest crossover artist. The influence dancehall has brought to the table is evident right now in Afro beats, Sean Paul said, citing the popular Nigerian sound that has in turn inspired hits by Drake and others. The speedy strain of dance music known as drum and bass and the English hip-hop subgenre grime also owe much to Jamaican templates. Most important for American listeners, dancehall played a key role in the creation of reggaeton, a collision of Jamaican rhythms and Spanish language hip-hop without the distinctive drum programming invented by Jamaican producers. The reggaeton beat is still known as dembow. Named after a 1991 song by Jamaican singer Shabba Ranks, and the forceful bass pattern borrowed from dancehall. You don't get crossover hits like Nori, Oye Mi Canto, Daddy Yankee's Gasolina, or more recently Ozuna and Natty Natasha's Criminal. But when it comes to dancehall itself, people are afraid to give it a chance. The singer Cranium says, when he reconsiders, they kill it even before they give it a chance. Let's tally the challenges. Facing a dancehall singer hoping to reach the American market, the first and biggest is the way we speak, Sean Paul says. Most of us sing in patois, which evolves every year. So you can't write it down in a textbook. You can't teach it to someone unless they live it. Jax, the producer, points to another underlying problem. The Jamaican market, lack of robust infrastructure for international distribution. So, in America, there are major labels that you can bring your artist to, and then you have a platform, he says. No parallel institution exists in the Caribbean. As Ricky Blaze laments, we don't have a Def Jam Jamaica. It's very hard for a record to make it far outside of Jamaica without a mainstream label behind it, adds Linton TJ Records White, who produce No Games for Sarani. There are also often constraints on the travel of dancehall artists themselves, who may face complicated border control measures when attempting to enter the US. Stephen the Genius McGregor, who has produced for Sean Paul and Vybz Kartel, points to the crackdown that occurred in 2010 when US Homeland Security revoked the visas of 5 dancehall singers simultaneously during a battle with the Jamaican government over the extradition of Dudus Coke, now serving time for drug trafficking. Most of the front runners in dancehall had those issues in recent years, which strained the entire industry, McGregor says. Sean Paul notes that reggaeton artists have not faced the same visa problems for one obvious reason. If you look at where reggaeton broke from, it's a US territory, he says. It's Puerto Rico. Some dancehall producers point elsewhere, suggesting that the music has been aesthetically stagnant recently, limiting its ability to hook new listeners. I think there's a lack of creativity on our part, says the producer Tyshane Beam Thompson, the son of the well-known singer Papa San. If I put 2 Jamaican beats from this year or last year together, they all sound just the same. Both Thompson and Jax pin this effort to now imprisoned star Vybz Kartel's mid-2000s rise. Anything Vybz went on became a big song, so it made the market lazy, Jax says. People were just throwing stuff out there, and if he jumped on it, they wouldn't even mix the track, they'd just put it out. Vybz is super talented. Other artists were trying to keep up with him, but they didn't have the same ability to create several hits at a time. It caused a drop in quality. The dancehall singles that make it past these obstacles in the US generally start on New York Hot 97 Radio, the biggest supporter of Caribbean music in America, explains Julian Jones Griffith, a veteran dancehall manager who now works with Charlie Black and Jada Kingdom. After that, songs spread to Hartford, Boston, and other East Coast cities with a notable Caribbean presence. Reaching the rest of the country is harder, in part because of the strict formats imposed on terrestrial radio stations. You're most likely to hear a dancehall record on an urban station, slotted next to rap and R&B tracks. But if a key station in a given market is rhythmic, i.e., it plays a mixture of rap, R&B, dance music, and high-energy pop, dancehall records often hit a wall. Walking Trophy, for example, was played 3,838 times on urban station in the second week of July, according to Mediabase, but just 722 times in the rhythmic format. The climate for dancehall is rhythmic radio is actually relatively hospitable compared to pop stations, which have barely played Walking Trophy at all. Pop radio largely plays white performers. Even non-white rappers who reach number one on the Hot 100 struggle to achieve a major hit on the pop airwaves. This means dancehall records almost never get the kind of crossover push that leads to a genuine hit in the US. It could be a massive record in New York like Hood Celebrity, Jones Griffith says, but to translate it to Kansas or the West Coast, that's like the holy grail for us. We never get LA. Even making it to a major label like Hood Celebrity, who signed to Epic Records, is no guarantee of success. Walking Trophy is slowly sputtering out, with a 7% week over week drop in spins the last week of July. Most labels don't understand how to market the Caribbean culture. McGregor says promotion staffs are mostly still split by race. The pop department takes care of acts that are predominantly white, and the urban department works with acts that are predominantly black. Wow. Dancehall singers will be thrown under the urban umbrella, but the same strategies that work for hip-hop and R&B acts may not work when they are applied to dancehall. Some labels don't have to go 100% all out as they should, adds Charlie Black, whose Gal You a Party Animal and its remix have upwards of 300 million Spotify spins combined. Black is on the Universal imprint After Club and clarifies that he's happy with his treatment there. Your manager have to have some direction over and control of how you're marketed, stresses Bobby Condas, who helms the show on the reggae tip for Hot 97. But in the end, a phrase handful of major label dancehall acts are stuck competing with rappers and R&B singers for one, at most two slots on a radio playlist, while the weight of an entire genre rests on their shoulders. Jones Griffith asked, if Sony puts 600 grand into Hood Celebrity, but they take a big hit on it, you think they're gonna look to sign another dancehall artist? The answer to that is hell no. Streaming seems tailor-made to mitigate many of these problems. Services like Spotify and Apple Music have a proven record of sidestepping the language barrier when it comes to Spanish and Korean language songs. And they enable artists to do and end run around the conservative gatekeepers of terrestrial radio. But streaming, or more accurately, the absence thereof, may actually be hurting dancehall rather than helping it. It used to be hard for us at radio. I think it's even worse now with streaming, Jones Griffith says. That's because Spotify and Apple Music are not available in Jamaica or in parts of Africa where dancehall is immensely popular, meaning that hardcore fans can't signal the music's popularity in the streaming economy. You can't just go up to Hot 97 and give them a record. The reggae singer Protege explains, you have to create this buzz so that they can look at their Shazams. It's very number driven. It is already popular. YouTube is available in Jamaica, and that's one platform where dancehall thrives. But here, geopolitical realities play an important role compared to the Latin market, which encompasses over 400 million Spanish-speaking people worldwide. Jamaica is a small country. A big hit for the Puerto Rican singer Ozuna easily reaches 1 billion views with a B on YouTube worldwide in less than a year. Cranium's biggest hit, Nobody Has to Know, has around 90 million views across the videos for the original single, the remix, and a special dance clip over multiple years. The stark difference in numbers helps explain why streaming services seem reluctant to engage fully with Jamaican music. It's tougher for us to get Spotify to pay attention or even properly tag records within the genre so that they're really feeding people who are listening and giving them good recommendations, says Lem Oppenheimer, CEO of reggae label Easy Star Records. Other genres have an individual programmer or several assigned to them in contrast. Alright, so Oppenheimer says that it's usually someone who handles jazz that will handle reggae. Here, you look at it. According to some Jamaican artists, Spotify recently created an African diaspora music edition position that will now include some Jamaican music playlists. Spotify did not respond to requests for comments for this story. Spotify playlist for dancehall is okay, the producer Beam says. But I go to a lot of dancehall clubs. Those songs that they play, like Jenna Bongs, those aren't in the Spotify playlist. Whoever's doing that programming, it's either they don't like what's going on right now or they just don't know what's going on right now. A few factors might scramble a status quo. For instance, there's always the possibility of an assist from a mainstream star. Latin pop songs were already reaching America in unprecedented numbers in 2017. But Justin Bieber's feature on Luis Fonsi and Daddy Yankee's Despacito helped push Spanish language hits further into pop center. But when a Jamaican singer manages to score a hit, it does not seem to yield much benefit for his peers or even for that artist's subsequent releases. Cranium, Conscience, Egyptian, and Serrani have each scored a minor hit since their initial breakthrough, but not a string of hits. Adding to that, the American mainstream has partially erased the important contribution of several Jamaican musicians in recent years. An initial version of Drake's Controller that leaked online featured the Jamaican singer Popcorn, but when the album views arrived, he had been excised or knocked out of it. More brazenly, Agent Sasco, formerly known as Assassin, provided key contribution on Kendrick Lamar's The Blacker the Berry, but he wasn't even credited as a featured vocalist on the album, unlike the many other background vocalists and chorus singers identified as featured performers on Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly. Lamar's label TDE did not respond to requests for this comment. So you see, it seems like them a play with. And it seems even more like the artists themselves out of Jamaica don't really understand the music game and they themselves are playing themselves. Maybe it's that, or maybe money is exchanged under the table for a one-time thing. I don't know. Alright, so hear this. I'm grateful for the opportunity because they could have not put the verse on there, says Agent Sasco. But if they are going to use it, then let it be used in a way that more access is granted and more opportunities can be granted. We need access and we need proper leverage, is what Sasco said. It's also possible that in their never-ending quest to market share, Spotify or Apple Music may set up shop in the Caribbean. This too seems unlikely, at least in the near future. I pleaded with Spotify, why are you not available in the Caribbean? Jones Griffith says. They said that it was some licensing issues. The best way for a Jamaican artist to reach US listeners, counterintuitively, may be turning their eyes elsewhere, towards South and Central America. There are two advantages to this tactic. First, reggaeton has maintained a close relationship with its Jamaican forebearers. Listen to Faruko's Inolvidable, whatever that is, in which someone yells, "It's a dancehall thing," before Faruko raps the rest of the song in Spanish. Or the Jamaican singer Popcorn's Wine For Me, which is textbook reggaeton. Second, Latin American listeners have proved that they have the streaming power to launch songs not only around the world, but even into the narrow-minded US market. Aftercluv is already pursuing this strategy. It's a much more democratic world out there, says Pedro Guzman, the public music imprint's SVP. You don't have to count on major markets like the US and the UK to make a song go global. He points to Charlie Black's Gal You a Party Animal, which Aftercluv licensed. Panama and Costa Rica are huge dancehall markets. Guzman explains, Party Animal started growing there, then it went to Colombia, then Peru, then Chile. We started working it in Europe and it caught on. When we did a remix with Daddy Yankee, that also became huge. Eventually, the song just made its way into America, reaching number 18 on the club charts. Jones Griffith calls the success of Black single a moment. He also finds hope in Natty Natasha and Ozuna's Criminal. A lot of people in America don't know that record. The veteran manager says, that's got 1 billion with a B views on YouTube. You can do a massive record, get major money and major touring without America even knowing about you. Granted, Gal You a Party Animal needed a feature from a well-known Latin act to go the extra distance, but the lesson remains. I've been trying to run down America all these years, but there's a massive market that already loves our music and their arms are wide open to us. That's Latin America, Central America, and Spain, Jones Griffith said. Ironically, no longer looking for mainstream US acceptance may be the best way for dancehall to actually get it. How ironic. Wow. So let me close this video out now by giving my own personal thoughts and opinions. First of all, let me let you know, so I'm not plagiarizing this, that this article was written in RollingStone magazine. And this was written by one of Rolling Stone's writers. So I myself, SouFLoTV, did not write this. Alright. Now check it. Dancehall music is like this. Our industry is a wild, wild west industry. This is what I feel. And a lot of people have been saying over the years that, oh, the Jamaican artists, they fight against each other too much and that's why they can't get anything done overseas or whatever. I don't know about that. What I do know, though, is that when one of our artists actually makes it through a mainstream door, they never turn around and bring another one. So you have that one artist, and that one artist is there like a Sean Paul until his career fades. Nobody is hot forever. So my advice to our artists out of Jamaica is, when you're hot, bring some others in while you're hot, so they can start getting lukewarm while your hotness is fizzling. Because eventually your hotness will fizzle, and then maybe one of the ones you brought in will become extremely hot. That means we will have solidified brand Jamaica across the world. But when you alone go in and you get hot and then you get cold and there's no more you, no one no longer looks to Jamaica until someone is able to replicate that blueprint all over again. It's SouFLoTV, man. Leave your comment in the comment section below. Let me hear what you got to say about this one. Long live dancehall. I'm out. Peace.